Hi, I'm Granny, and we're going down the rabbit hole of Plate Tectonics Episode 4. So, what does a hot spot have to do with the Hawaiian Islands? And did you know that just like the universe expanding, our Earth is too? To put things in perspective, I once heard a geologist describe that if you took a 20-foot length of wood, say a 2 by 4, I don't know if they come in that lengths, but anyway, that represents the time the earth has been in existence. And then at the very end of that piece of wood, you put a layer of paint. That layer of paint represents how long people have been on the earth. Understanding this helps us keep our perspective. We are all, like others in the past, are just trying to figure out this amazing, confusing, and scary world. Charles Francis Richter was an American seismologist and physicist wanting to understand earthquakes better. He lived from 1900 to 1985 and is the namesake and one of the creators of the Richter magnitude scale. He and Benno Gutenberg collaborated on the Richter scale while working at the California Institute of Technology. Richter grew up in California, and while in college, his interests in earthquakes grew, resulting in the first Gutenberg Richter scale, or seismograph, in 1935. The Gutenberg Richter scale has had many modifications to it since. Today, many kinds of monitors and seismographs are installed throughout the world and operated as part of a seismographic network, giving the public early warnings of tsunamis and increased volcanic activity. There are all kinds of early warning systems available for your phone. At my last job, a system of texting was instituted to warn of different kinds of threats, in addition to Amber Alerts. Charles Richter notified officials in the San Fernando area in early 1971 of a possible earthquake, resulting in measures saving many lives. That was the earthquake that I mentioned in an earlier video that hit early February of 1971. I was once traveling with my sister, who was a commercial real estate broker. We were on a tour in an area of Wyoming looking for a commercial location when the guy pointed to a complicated contraption in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere. He explained that when companies explore areas for gas or minerals, they sometimes hit pockets of gas that are highly toxic. And in this case, he said one whiff of this gas would kill you. The company, once they discover these gas pockets, are required to cap it and attach monitors to it to notify officials if there is ever a leak. Makes me think of Lake Nyos in Cameroon in Africa in 1986, where the lake kind of belched out all this toxic gas. Had that lake had monitors like it does now, thousands of people and livestock would have survived. The earth is a beautiful, scary place. Why are the Hawaiian Islands referred to by geologists as being in a hot spot? In geologic terms, a hot spot or mantle plume, think of volcanoes, is a weak area of the Earth's mantle forming volcanoes and thought to be relatively stationary while the tectonic plate moves above it. So think of this as the plume, and as the plate moves across, that plume finds a weakness in that plate and then creates volcanoes. Just like the Hawaiian Islands, you could draw a map almost, or you do, or you have. There's a link as how those volcanoes have been created, and which is why it's referred to as the Hawaii Emperor Volcanic Chain. An example of the earliest stages of a spreading center or seafloor spreading that Wegener referred to when plates are moving away from each other is the Gulf of California. Have you ever been to Rocky Point? Anyway, As they move away from each other, lava fills the gap, solidifies, and then the process repeats itself. The Gulf of California is about 12 million years old and making it one of the youngest ocean basins in the world. Think of African Rift Valley. In the 1950s, international research programs began exploration of deep sea circulation and strong sea currents. About 60 research ships from about 40 different nations were deployed. Other commercial or privately owned ships were occasionally included. These ships put sonar devices in the water trailing behind the ship, recording patterns of the seafloor. While studying water currents in the Earth's oceans, scientists became curious of patterns found on the ocean floor. Remember Antoine Bruns? He was a French geophysicist, and he discovered in 1905 geomagnetic reversal of the Earth by studying ancient lava flows or volcano flows. Core samples drilled in the ocean floors at these curious pattern locations confirmed the seafloor spreading theory of Wegener's. According to the Scripps Institute of Oceanography, the closer to the crest, or where the two tectonic plates are separating, the younger the lava flow was. It was also during these scientific expeditions that confirmed Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift or plate tectonics. Professor Stanley Keith Runcorn, a British physicist, confirmed Wegener's theory of continental drift in 1962, 57 years after his theory was proposed. Alfred Wegener never was able to learn what caused the continental drift, but Professor Runcorn did. Runcorn's research included the power behind continental drift, which he called magnetohydrodynamics of the Earth's core convection process that we've talked about before. Understanding our Earth helps scientists' prediction abilities. Current estimates state only 25% of the world's seafloor is currently mapped. Seabed 2030 is a multinational project with the goal of mapping all oceans of the world by 2030. According to the website, there are many benefits to having a complete map of our oceans, including the seafloor's shape for understanding ocean circulation, climate models, resource management, tsunami forecast warnings, sediment transportation. Remember how we learned whirlpools in the ocean brings nutrients from the seafloor of the ocean to the surface for fish and animal life and much more. Studying our Earth and solar system has helped scientists understand the universe. And if you think about all of the monitors around the world that contributes to this information, according to some estimates, our universe is expanding by 160,000 miles per hour. Some scientists believe the Earth was smaller in the past than it is today, believing plate tectonics contributed to its gradual increase. Think of GPS. According to data recorded at globally distributed station monitors around the Earth for more than 20 years under the International Terrestrial Reference Frame 2008, end of quotes, our Earth is expanding at a rate of, and I'm going to quote what their website says so I'm not misunderstood. Quote, the rate of expansion is 0.24, all right, let's start over again. The Earth is expanding at a rate of, quote, 0.24 plus or minus 0.05 millimeters / small a, end of quotes, in the last 2 decades. which thankfully is a lot slower than how our universe is expanding. I want you to remember the two most frequent injuries sustained during an earthquake are things falling on you and glass cuts on your feet. Please don't have anything heavy hanging over your bed or on the wall next to your bed that can fall on you. And always keep a pair of shoes next to your bed when you go to sleep at night. When we go down a rabbit hole, we always find things that are unexpected and unexpected connections to other rabbit holes. I have never been down a rabbit hole that another rabbit hole hasn't added to my understanding, which also confirms Max Planck's theory. Thanks for joining me. Join me in my next adventure as Granny goes down the rabbit hole about Max Planck's theory of energy quanta. Thank you for watching my video, and please like and subscribe.